Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I'm the one and only Maxi here, and I'm of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Pac-Man World 3 for the Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, PSP, PC, and the worst version of the game, the DS version. So, last time we basically just managed to traverse through the I would say the 12th world in the game, which appears to be Owen's Fortress. And today for this episode is the fact that we are moving on to the next world, which is world number 13, which I'm not exactly sure what this world is actually called. I'll once again put in a link in the description, so even then though I'm probably able to actually will try to mention more about it, during that time anyway. So, yeah, let's get this thing to it. All new forms of the 13th world, and it looks like that we've only got about, you know, 3 worlds to go until we basically just pretty much done with the forms of Pac-Man World 3. And then basically, once we're done with that, our entire trilogy of Pac-Man World series of Let's Plays will be accomplished. Now, for those of you probably wondering about the forms of the Game Boy Advance ports of Pac-Man World 1 and 2, I don't feel like trying to count those, honestly, just because, well, for I've seen several playthroughs of the Game Boy Advance versions of Pac-Man World 1 and Pac-Man World 2, those games on the GBA are a far cry to the actual console versions, probably because the music has been horribly compressed, and also the depth perception has actually gone way off, especially noticeable in Pac-Man World 2's case on the GBA. And not to mention though is the fact that during the course of Pac-Man World 1 does not have any bonus levels in the forms of in the Game Boy Advance version because, well, you still have to farm them and hope for the best. So, oh, what? Dang it. I wasn't expecting that specific stingy jump right there, but regardless of such though, we can at least able to actually just go down there. So, of course we do need to able to avoid those flamethrowers, and because of that though, hopefully we would be able to navigate through, you know, these little swing bars and all that stuff though, so yeah, it's not much else to tell. So yeah, today's day is of course the 27th of, I think it's 27th today, of July in 2021. So we've, naturally speaking, we've only got about 5 more days to go until specifically we're moving on to the forms of the 8th month. However, I will have to admit though right away when it comes to the forms of those last few videos of this game. Generally speaking, it's the fact that since after all that we've pretty much almost nearly at the end of Pac-Man World 3, I will have to admit though right away, for the sake of this particular week, when it comes to uploading schedules on this, well, potentially speaking, this is actually up today on Tuesday. However, as far as the later days, as far as I'm concerned, I'll save the next part until specifically on Thursday, because I might be busy until tomorrow, and because of that, though, I'm still watching the actual Olympics still. For the sake of the forms of the convenience, especially noticeable, I'll tell you the actual results during the future portions. And what the heck am I doing? Oh, jeez. I will have to admit, though, I'm not a big fan of that little pole right there that you can able to actually just to spin into, because there's no way you can able to actually exit out to jump at it. So because of that, you have to specifically use those swinging bars in order to progress. So yeah, that might be seems a bit offset. So, but anyway, speaking of the Olympics, actually, though, I was expecting if I was gonna able to mention something about that brief update on the medals count for the actual Olympics so far. Oh, really? Jeez. I hate when how that happened right there. Especially it doesn't help that the camera just managed to able to just get too much zoomed in most of the time, which as a result, it really messed up with my platforming department. But hopefully we should able to make this, which I highly doubt I will be. So this is where the game starts to get a bit tricky, especially noticeable with, you know, too much emphasis on flamethrowers that it's pretty impossible to dodge sometimes, and especially noticeable with the forms of what else? Some pretty difficult platforming involved, but it knows where it stands towards at the very end. So yeah, some updates in terms of Tokyo 2020 Olympics so far. Basically, so far that China was in the lead, well, according to the forms of yesterday morning, basically, People's Republic of China managed to able to got 15 medals so far. So they've got 6 gold and 6 bronze and 3 silvers. As far as the United States of America is concerned, well, basically they're in second place at the moment. Such as, for instance, they've got 13 medals so far. So in this case, they've got 6 gold, just like China, but with the forms of 3 silvers, pretty much exactly the same as China. And, of course, they've got 4 bronze medals, so not too shabby for them. And as far as Japan is concerned, they've got 6 gold medals, just like the other 2 countries, and with the forms of the only silver medal and the only bronze medal. So, yeah, that seems pretty cool for that usual circumstances. And they've basically got 8 medals so far, according to yesterday morning. Even though, again, I was expecting, if I was trying to mention the actual, like, a massive update for that medal counts for the, you know, the actual Olympics so far. So, anyway, for Great Britain, which is my country anyway, we actually got pretty good. Like, we've got about 6 medals, and basically we've got 3 golds, and 2 silvers, and 1 bronze. So yeah, that seems pretty cool. And Australia got 3 bronzes, and 2 golds, and 1 silver. And Republic of Korea, they've got no silvers, and 3 bronzes, and 2 golds. So, yeah, that seems kind of cool for that, well, as far as progressions goes. But mind you, we still got a couple of days left until specifically, well, you know what I'm saying. So, and next up, I believe, is Russia of Community or something like that. Basically, they've got, pretty much 8 medals. So, well, usually for Australia, got 6, and, usually, well, 6 medals so far in total for Australia, and 5 medals total for, you know, Korea. And as far as the forms of Russia of Community, basically they've got 8 medals, so they've got 1 gold, 4 silvers, and 3 bronzes. So, and I think the lowest amount they've got is New Zealand, or technically, 5 countries so far do have, like, a lower rating so far. Like, Ukraine... No, wait. No, not Ukraine, because Ukraine only got, 2 bronzes, which, yeah, that could be also applies to, Turkey, along with, Kazakhstan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I was going to be thinking of anyway. I do apologize for that mispronunciation for that country's name, just because, well, it has been about a couple of hours since I actually mentioned something like that. Oh, for New Zealand and Mexico and Israel and also Astana, and especially noticeable with that another country, that those 5 countries so far have got about let's say 5 medals. No, wait. 1 bronze medal. So, yeah, I must admit the right away. I do apologize for the actual, like, my commentary gets a little bit more snuffed up at points. I think it's probably because I almost felt slightly tired today, but, clearly because I didn't get that much sleep. So, because of that, though, hopefully, whenever we're done with the forms of, today's video... Oh, jeez. No! I hate when that happened, especially that sometimes that the wall jumps can either just manage to help you out or not due to the forms of somewhat of a collusion right there, so... Oh well, no big deal. But anyways, let's go in and activate that switch over there, so hopefully we would be able to, like, progress. So, yeah, everything else goes a little bit more fun and dandy for the most part. So... Although, I will have to admit though right away though, is the fact that, usually for the sake of this world, at least as far as whenever I'm able to actually just, well, the actual music in the background, well, at least to be more specifically though, to me though, this is perhaps is the most, oh, look at that, we have a throwback to Crash Bandicoot, when, you know, the villain is on the radar, or the monitor, and basically they're just trying to able to taunt you. Just like in Dr. Neo Cortex, that's basically, that's him trying to able to actually just to do, like, a weird facial expression whenever you're in one of those levels in Crash Bandicoot 1. So, even though it has been a while since I actually played Crash Bandicoot, clearly because of the fact that I was busy playing some other stuff recently, so because of that, you know, still playing Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 after all for the Nintendo Switch, along with the forms of Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 on the smartphones, because, well, it totally seems a bit obvious. Oh, there's also another thing that's worth mentioning for us, the fact that one thing I totally forgot to mention throughout the majority of the whole year, recently, technically, that, I would say in both America and Europe, including Australia as well, that we finally managed to able to get the release of the forms of the arcade edition for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. That, for what I've seen the gameplay footage on someone else's video, and for what I've seen, it's kind of like the expansion, or should I say a, well, let's just say a Tokyo version of Rio 2016 Arcade Edition. Although the noticeable differences this time is obviously not using the actual joysticks, but rather buttons. So, that seems totally obvious for that difference. And also is the fact that, unfortunately, no guest characters to compete, unlike the ones in Rio 2016. Despite the fact that they've only got, like, 4 competitors for the guest competitors back in Rio 2016. Arcade Edition, like you're able to compete against with Team Toads in 4x100 meter relay, and also same applies to the forms of Nabbit and E123 Omega and Rouge. So at least as far as I'm usually able to think about that. So, but that's no longer the case this time around for Tokyo 2020 Arcade Edition, sadly, because the only thing you can only do is to compete the actual rivals from their respective characters, not so much the guest characters this time around. So, kinda sucks though, but usually because of that though, usually I was expecting if the guest characters might actually be involved in the Arcade Edition, but usually we've not seen Rouge in the actual, you know, sports climbing events, or Rosalina in, you know, surfing events, and, yeah, you probably get the idea about that. So anyways though, although I would like to mention more about the forms of the medals count for the other countries, but honestly, I think I should probably save it up until well, let's just say until the next video, until specifically on Thursday, because obviously, since that we've almost pretty much done with the forms of this game so far, so generally speaking that we will be able to actually just to deal with, the first day's uploading schedule, because I might be busy until Wednesday, so because, well, for tomorrow anyway, because I need to do a little bit of a brief recap on the forms of those medal counts, as I said, and to top it all off, is the fact that we can able to actually get this game finished before we move on to the next few Let's Plays in particular, which, again, we're not going to spoil things majorly though just yet though, but aside from the fact that my team is still able to go back into Mario Party 5 until specifically this weekend, and because you're pretty much going to show off some, you know, some extra stuff. So like, for instance, extra modes, as well as the forms of several minigames he hasn't experienced yet. So, yeah, that pretty much summarized as such. So, yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and eat some more, you know, special ghosts in here. So, yeah, nothing particularly that special about it. I mean, besides the fact that we got to do this a lot. So, and it feels like that we've almost reached into like 1 million plus points. Because obviously, that once you finish the game, then basically it actually shows you the forms of how the fact that, well, you can able to actually go for a higher score if possible. So, oh dear me, I do apologize if I was feel a bit slightly tired, just because of I couldn't sleep well last night, so I do apologize for that. So, yeah, anyway, and another thing is worth noting for is the fact that, generally speaking, that when it comes to the forms of the file size, when it comes to Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Switch version most likely, basically they've managed able to show us the fact that how much gigabytes does that game usually get able to use for. Like, for instance, I think it only gets like 6 point something gigabytes for Sonic Colors Ultimate, whilst unlike Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, was actually like 3.0 gigabytes or something like that. So, at least there might be something as a huge differences between the two. But, regardless of such though, I'm still looking forward to able to, like, you know, experience Sonic Colors again, as I said, countless amount of times in the past. So, yeah, you get the gist of it. And also, unfortunately though, there was actually a rumor going on about the films of ending off the eShop, you know, services or submissions for both the Wii U and the 3DS. Mind you, because the Nintendo is pretty much still focusing on the Nintendo Switch at the moment, which it seems kind of true for that circumstances anyway. Although, I was expecting, if I was hoping that we can able to mention about something more about the Nintendo Switch itself, likely for the selling points updates specifically until the next few weeks. So we can expect we can able to actually mention more about that. So anyway, and also speaking of the Nintendo Switch though, we still haven't heard about the forms of some more free DLC stuff for Mario Golf Super Rush. I think at this point, I don't think I can able to touch that game for a really long time. Especially noticeable because I'm pretty sure that stupid thing is about to slow every other, like, publishers down for, specifically for trying to able to finalize the game or something like that. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about because they sometimes work at home, so, oh well. So, of course, we can able to still take control of, Blinky here, but, obviously, though, we do need to dish out more of those, you know, familiar robots, as to be expected, so... yeah, seems like it's all pretty easy and stuff like that, so let's just, charge up the actual special meter, and bust out this, you know, this little crate, and that way we can able to actually access to take control of Pinky, so... yeah, that should be pretty much summarized as such. But anyways, let's riff roll on here, and, well, take control of Pinky right here. So, and hopefully we should able to actually get those little, you know, sparkle, effects here between, you know, those sections right there. And of course, the last one should be around, well, here somewhere. But, before we do that, on the other hand, though, we need to create those specific, platforms right here. So, yeah, I think that pretty much summarizes such from this point here. Again, there's not much else I can say. I mean, apart from the fact that, unfortunately, for the sake of the Films of the Future points, for, well, both the Wii U and the 3DS, pretty much, and Pac-Man is still asleep. Wake up. Nah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, that this world might be a bit boring to me, though, and that is because of how the fact that not only, it is okay for the actual world itself, like, it's just, it feels kind of, I don't know, what do I call it, bleak to me? Although, to be fair though, that we pretty much almost at the end of the game, so we can expect this much. But, I will have to admit though right away, is that the music is kind of dull though. But, at least as far as I can usually try to able to describe about the forms of this world itself. So, anyway, so we have to take control of Pinky again. So, this time we're gonna able to actually just to create some more platforms by, well, I'm pretty sure we can able to actually make our way to, well, Blinky's section. To be more specifically, either Blinky or Clyde, because again, much like Pac-Man World 2, that, it gets like a name confusion, so... anyways, let's create those 3 platforms, so that way we can able to progress, so, but we'll let Pinky be in charge. So, and I'm pretty sure this might be actually be the last time we're going to be taking control of Pinky in this game. Because obviously, whenever we move on to the next world after this, we might still able to take control of, well, Blinky until specifically at the end. But as far as I'm aware, whenever we get into the final world in the game, God, that might actually took me forever to able to actually just to finally expect that we're pretty much almost done here, so it is still going to be one of the longest Let's Plays in terms of the Pac-Man World trilogy of Let's Plays, because, you know what I mean, it's just the fact that it might actually overstay their welcome sometimes, for the sake of the forms of several levels worth noting for, but I digress. So, Anyway, so now we've activated that switch, so that way we can able to, well, I'm pretty sure that we've almost done for this point, because I'm pretty sure that we are to the, almost to the save spots right there, so, we can able to actually expect we can able to save our progress for the sake of time. So, yeah, you probably get the gesture, so... Anyway, so let's just, continue things on here while going for the actual text box, but, sometimes I always have to talk over to it, though, for some reason, but it knows what it stands out to be, so... Anyways, let's just grab these some more pack dots. Yeah, because of that, though, in order to able to get the high score once you beat the game, you have to constantly need to able to collect those pack dots and deal with more enemies for certain combos, and especially noticeable with collecting some collectibles, ranging from, you know, fruits, Galaxians, and all that stuff, so... In fact, talking of which, when it comes to Galaxians items, it's only if we move on to the next world, that might actually be the last time we're going to be able to actually expect that we can possibly try to get the Galaxian item. Even though, mind you, it might not happen, sadly, though, just because, well, this is not exactly the 100% completion playthrough. Like I stated earlier, like loads of times already, unless if you look up on guides in order able to actually just to notice something like this, but it knows what it usually goes, so... Anyways, let's deal with even more enemies, and including with the most annoying enemies, with these little annoying robots that are trying to able to shoot me to death. Like, seriously, if you ever seen in our previous part yesterday, that you know what I mean, how much I absolutely despise these kinds of robots like this, because they always, you know what I mean, just butt kicks me. So because of that, hopefully that won't happen again, assuming if I wasn't paying attention to that, so... At least we still got quite a few extra lives so far, so we can expect that we can able to, like, you know what I mean, try to survive in these parts, and thankfully we've got ourselves the electric shock power-up, so that way we're able to keep ourselves safe, so... Yeah, that pretty much summarizes such from this point here. Alright, I think that's everything, aside from these annoying robots again, so hopefully we'll grab this, so just in case we can able to... Okay, that's it, I've had enough of these guys. I just seriously can't stand these guys. But anyway, I think that's it. Oh, really? You still show up? Okay, there we go. Oh, of course, we have to deal with the evolves that bigger, tougher enemy now, so... Well, simply, we have to just have to butt bounce on his back. That's pretty much about it. Self-explanatory, and there's nothing challenge to this guy, so... Anyways, let's just go ahead and butt bounce there, and there we go. And there goes that particular enemy right now, so, yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. Anyways, let's referral to this little, referral pad to, you know, unlock a door, and, hopefully, we pretty much almost at the home stretch of this particular level so far, so... Again, it's just not one of my favorite worlds. It's clearly because of the forms of how the fact that, well, generally speaking, I found that place to be kind of almost bleak to me, and also the music itself wasn't all that memorable to me, but it's just what it stands for, so that which I can usually just pretty much summarize the almost the entire negativity with the whole entire thing, but still. So anyways, let's grab the cherry over here, and we need to able to grab... Oh, there's the last orange, and of course we still need to able to dish out, you know what I mean, even more enemies to top it off, and well, not much else to say about this for the most part, so... Anyways, let's referral just straight on for it, while keep on fiddling around with the actual analog stick sometimes, but hopefully we'll skip the good chunks of portions of it. Anyways, let's go and deal with this guy again. So... Oh jeez, we have to deal with two of these guys. But thankfully though, that I can expect that since I pretty much exactly know what I was going to be doing, then, wow, these guys are easily being taken down. So, huzzah, and there we go. So, is there anything else more to it? Ah, oh, darn it, those enemies shows up. Okay, nothing happened around here, so... Oh well, no big deal, but at the very least we can able to deal with even more enemies from here, including that stupid robot that is trying to shoot me, and it's even worse when they have, like, shields on them, though. But anyway, so now we've actually dealt with all those, specific enemies, and now let's go ahead and grab this little, chip that we can able to actually just, well, trying to open up the door, and I think that might actually be the last section of this level, so, well, assuming if we're able to come across into that, you know, text boxes here and there, so because of that, again, there's not much else to say, it's just the fact that I found this world kind of boring, honestly, just because I don't find this world to be aesthetically pleasing, but that's probably just me anyway, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and oh jeez, I forgot about these lasers right there, but thankfully we can deal with them with the butt bounce, simply put, and, well, trying to deal with even more enemies to, you know, just try to able to beat those guys down, including the actual laser cannons from the sake of time. Seriously, I just really wish if they were able to expand upon, you know, the actual combos list, which I know it seems not much, but hey, at least unlike in that other game, that it runs like pretty alright. Well, minus some few drops here and there, or frame rate drops here and there, but aside from that, there's not much else to say. So anyways, let's go ahead and deal with these saw blade looking enemies, including this, again, very annoying enemies of the game, I must admit. Seriously, between the forms of those small bugs from the actual Spectral Realm worlds, and especially noticeable with the forms of these kinds of robots, they manage to keep on shooting at me. Those are bathed in my existence when it comes to these enemies that I have to deal with. But anyway, so before we finish the level, we need to take on the forms of this particular maze, and hopefully once we're done with this particular maze, then I'm pretty sure enough the 13th world will be finished by then. So, yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can say about this. It's just a boring world, I must admit, just because of the forms of how, not a big fan of the actual, the environment. Well, it's cool at first, but it's just that it just feels kind of, like, bleak to me. But that's just me anyway, so... Anyway, so let's grab the rest of the actual pack dots here. Oh, wait a second. I forgot about that contraption right there. And there we go, we've completed the maze, and that's it for the 13th world.
Thank you, I'll be here all week. Hey, buddy! Hey, hero fella! We won!
You won? I should start cleaning up the mess.
I don't think so. I have need of somebody handy with a mop here at the outpost. Someone who, though he was only an ordinary janitor, stood up for what he believed in. What do you say?
What sort of mop do you have?
A Gigamop 3 billion, with all the extras.
Shall I go and defeat the bad guy then? I guess I may as well. You guys enjoy your cleaning implements. I'll go and save the world.
And yeah, I'm in first, so surprisingly enough, because obviously, since I said this before, I found this world to be one of my least favorite worlds in the game, just because of the actual aesthetics and all that stuff though, but aside from that, not much else to speak of. So anyway, so that's it for the 13th world, as I said. And, well, we've only got about 2 worlds to go until we pretty much finish up with Pac-Man World 3. So, yeah, that pretty much summarized from there. So anyways, saved successfully, so... yeah, there's not much else to say. I do apologize to the actual, like, not much infos at the moment, but aside from the medal counts.
This is not good. This is so seriously, indisputably, unbelievably not good. Pac-Man, the whole of the Spectral Realm is collapsing.
Not good.
Not good at all. If the Spectral Realm collapses, it'll break through to the real world. And that's the last anyone will have of kittens and chocolate and comfort and happiness for the foreseeable future.
We'll stop him, Morse. It'll be okay, you'll see.
Okay, so we're pretty much gonna end things off here. So join me next time on Let's Play Pac-Man World 3. It's the fact that we are moving on to the 14th world. So I'll see you guys until specifically on Thursday. Later, fellas.